Hello and welcome to the series where I take ruined model trains. This Loco is absolutely filthy and try to put them back on track. If I succeed, they'll work again. Of course it's going to work. Oh, that's purring beautifully like a little cat. But if I fail, they'll be left to the mercy of the evil scrap man. The Time-O-Matic machine will give me a limited time to repair each engine. If a Loco still doesn't work when the time runs out, the scrap man will come knocking. Welcome to Salvage or Scrap. And without any further ado, it's time to introduce the final long-suffering locomotive of the series. And this Loco actually hasn't been long-suffering for too long. Today's patient is a 2016 Hornby King class, which has seen some rough handling though in the 5 years since it was manufactured. This Loco did cost me a whopping £78 though, so I will be very interested to take a close look at this one to see what's wrong. So in some ways this is a beautiful looking model. Most of the bodywork looks excellent. A previous owner, I notice, has tried to fix the lamp irons and left a gluey mess there, but there is one glaring omission, and that of course is the chimney. Luckily though, this Loco did come with a bag of miscellaneous bits. There is quite a lot inside, but I'm seriously hoping that there will be everything I need to fix up the model. So because this one looks pretty good, I'm assuming that this is a non-runner. To find out, let's initiate that power test. Nothing. No, this one is completely dead, and that's not a good sign. I know the motor mounting bracket wasn't fitted because I saw that inside the parts bag, but I was hoping for at least some motor noise or something just so that I know there is a sign of life. Oh well, not to worry. How long have I got for this project? Time-O-Matic, if you will. 28 minutes. That is a disaster. It's a disaster because this is a modern Loco. It's much more fiddly than what I've done before. I have no idea at all what is wrong with it. I won't have any idea until I get the body off. It's clearly been handled very roughly by a previous owner who has also tried to disassemble it, and they clearly have no experience in disassembly because they haven't tried to put the thing back together again. There are just parts in the bag, so I really don't know what I'm going to find on the inside. So I've got less than half an hour. I'm gonna have to just get the body off, have a look, just hope that the thing isn't wrecked on the inside, try and put it back together, fix the body cosmetically if I can, and hopefully this thing will work in around half an hour's time. I don't know about this one, but I'm gonna give it a try. Let me go and prepare. Remember, my rule says that I'm not allowed to shop online for any replacement parts. I can use what I've already got in my stores, and I can 3D print brand new parts, but if I do, they must be printed within the time limit. So, in order to finish this one on time, I'm going to have to move quickly and efficiently through all of the usual points of failure on a model like this, find the failure and fix it before the time limit runs out. 28 minutes, Time-O-Matic, if you would mind starting the clock. Let's get this train back on the track. Up until this point, I haven't actually opened the parts bag, so it's time to dump everything out and take my first proper look. So, I've got to do this quickly. So it looks like there's a giant screw there. And that does not look like a screw that Hornby would use. I'm going to put that to one side, but I'd be very surprised if that was actually one of Hornby's screws. There is this, the motor mounting bracket. Inside it, stuck with lubricant, is a buffer. That's disgusting, and there's also another screw. Okay, the buffer must have come off the tender. Okay, so I'll put that back on. There's the chimney, and this looks like brake rigging, so that is okay. I can sort all of that out. And while I was investigating this Loco, I did make a slight discovery. It's not going to be the cause of the failure, but it's something that will need to be fixed. So let me show you very quickly what that is. So I've noticed that multiple pickups on the Loco are not actually making contact with the wheels. So I'm going to start by removing the base keeper plate. I'll assess the axles to make sure everything's right down there, and I will adjust those pickups. This is a cruel, cruel time limit. Taking a look underneath the base keeper plate, thankfully it was indeed fitted with a spring-loaded contact, which makes servicing like this much more convenient and, more importantly, much faster. So let's clean that up. I'm going to act as though I'm servicing this because, like I said, I don't know what's wrong. I don't have time later on to find out that there's something else wrong in a place I've already investigated, and the pickups are looking really dirty. It didn't seem like dirty pickups was causing it because this was completely dead. There was no motor noise, no movement, nothing. So I don't think the pickups are to blame, but dirty pickups are not a good thing, so they need to be cleaned. How are the axles looking? The axles look reasonably well lubricated, but I will just pull these out and clean them quick. So I will just lubricate these. So let's put the base keeper plate back on, making sure the various details don't get in the way. Timer-matic, how am I doing? We have 23 minutes left. Okay, that's not so bad. What am I talking about? It's terrible. I still haven't found a problem, but the pickups are better now. That's all I've been able to fix. Next thing, I'm going to remove the body, and when I do that, I'm going to glue the chimney so that that has time to set before the time runs out. Right, let's remove the front bogie. That needs to come off because it's in the way. I think this is the only screw for these bodies. I'm working from memory now, based on my other King class that I've got. Right, is the body coming out? Yes. Okay. Okay, I've spotted a potential issue. Look, there's a wire, a loose wire. That would certainly explain why there is no power at all. I don't think this has been messed about with too much. I just need to, I can't see where that wire should be connected. So that is something definitely to investigate. Time now to find a way to fit that chimney back on. Like that. Okay, so a little bit of glue. So I'm just applying a small amount with a needle. Maybe I need a little more than that. Only a little. I'll pop the chimney back in place. There we go. Oh, it looks so much better with a chimney, doesn't it? Crikey. So now I've got the fun job of finding the other end of that loose wire so that I can reconnect it. I'm going to take off the rear mounting bracket and look behind it, and hopefully I will find where this wire is supposed to lead. Yes, there is the broken wire. Okay, fantastic. Well, it's not fantastic, but it's kind of good because now I know what's wrong, presumably what's wrong. I don't know whether there are other faults besides that. That's something I still don't know, but yeah, this looks good. Okay, that's good and clean. Let's clean the worm drive. Right, so even this end of the wire looks like it's already been stripped. So I don't know if that happened during the break or what, but it saves me some time, so I'm happy about it. I just want a tiny bit of wire exposed, not much. There we go, that will do. How am I doing, Timer-matic? We're just below 19 minutes, okay. This is looking good. I've found a fault that will do it because it's one of the motor wires, so that will cause the problem. Hopefully, oh man, this might be the only serious mechanical fault. After this, it might just be me sticking a buffer back on. That would be amazing. I'm looking for heat shrink. I need heat shrink. Heat shrink, yes, heat shrink. It's the heat shrink. I like heat shrink. And trim the heat shrink. Place the heat shrink down the wire, making sure that the heat shrink is far enough away from the solder joint so that the heat shrink won't heat shrink. Oh, it's perfect. Awesome. And now I'll just maneuver the heat shrink into place. Okay, shrink. Okay, I think that's job done. Gear lube, there we go, and the motor mounting bracket. Screw this back on, and I've got a slight concern that there might be a reason why the previous owner didn't see fit to reattach the motor mounting bracket. So that makes me wonder, is there a fault with it that I need to be expecting? So I think it's really important that I don't rest on my laurels too much yet until I've checked everything. And then this should just fit on here. Any issues? I'll be very confused if this just goes on without a problem. Seems to be doing. Yeah. Fine, well look, no complaints from me. The Loco mechanism is now fully serviced, and I have found and fixed a serious fault. So, time to find out whether or not that's done the trick. I'm going to give it its first test. Juice. Oh yes. Sort of. Yes. So the tender does need some attention. I can see that there are big white wispy hairs around the tender wheels, which isn't great, is it? So I'll probably need to dismantle the tender. Seems to be working really nicely. Clean the wheels. Oh, did you hear that? It's squeaky clean, folks. Squeaky clean wheels. With the Loco verified to be working, I can put the body back on and start thinking about the tender. And get some of those other details stuck on. There's a buffer that needs sticking back on and the brake rigging for the tender. But I'm good at that. So that should be fine. I'm pretty sure at this point this is not going to the scrap man. I could be wrong if I mess something up and it doesn't work when the time runs out, but I'm hoping not to leave this to that stage. Great, well the next job is easy because the brake rigging isn't in the way, so that is going to be good. So I'm going to basically dismantle the base of the tender. Ah, there's another screw. Ah, that's annoying. It's underneath the water scoop. Hornby, why do you put screws underneath water scoops? Okay. Look at that wispy hair. Sorry, old man, whoever owned this in the past. But I don't really want your curly hairs all over my model. There we go. Right, clean the pickups and clean the axles. Less than 10 minutes left according to the Time-O-Matic machine. Crikey. 1, 2, and 3. And lubricate them. Right, I think that is job done now. With just a little bit of time left, there's just a few cosmetic tweaks to make. The brake rigging needs refitting, and that final stray buffer also needs to be put back in place. It's already quite gluey, so I wonder if this has already been reattached once. I don't know. No, it doesn't fit that way, so this must be right. Yep, that's it. Right, so I'm going to have to apply this with a needle, otherwise the buffer will seize up and it won't spring anymore. And that would be a disaster, because a Loco without sprung buffers, as we all know, is entirely useless. Can't use it, it's no good, it's got to go back. A bulb of glue applied to the needle, probably too much. Okay, clean any excess with a cotton bud, even though there's excess dried on it already from a previous fix. Well, I think I'm happy with that. Yeah, we'll call that time. Time-O-Matic, please stop. There we go, 4 minutes 48 left. I think most of these are finished within the last 5 minutes or so. It's quite insane. There we go, the King class, King William. Looks so much better with the chimney fitted, and of course it is so much better because now it will actually work. Well, that's the hope. Let's get it back to the workshop and find out. So there she is, today's lovely patient, back in the workshop, ready for that final inspection. Now remember, here's what the Loco looked like to start with. It actually looked fine, but there were a few missing parts, such as that chimney, which just made the Loco look terrible. And of course there was a whole bag of different parts that had become detached from the model. Furthermore, the Loco was entirely dead. No buzzing, no motor noise, no nothing. It was 100% dead. And here's what it looks like now. It's had only a very slight cosmetic overhaul, but it looks so much better now that it has its chimney fitted, now that it's got all of its buffers, and now that those other little details have been put back. Finally, it looks like a locomotive that you might want to buy from a shop. So that's great and all, but does it actually work now? Initiate that final power test. Yes, look at that. So I was able to find the fault and fix it, and I was also able to dismantle the entire mechanism and give it a full service and overhaul to make sure everything is working properly, and finally it is. So to start with, this Loco seemed like it was very, very expensive. Maybe I paid too much for it, but now after less than 28 minutes of work, £78 for this sounds like an absolute bargain. That is a pretty fantastic result. I can now officially say that that Loco has been successfully salvaged, and it is safe from that evil scrap. scrap man. Let's take one final look at the leaderboard of repair times then. As you can see, this one was much quicker than expected and it is in top place. It's the fastest salvage I've ever done. Turns out this one was easier than I thought it was going to be. And of course there's one last thing left to do, and that is to send the Loco back out into the world. There it goes now. For now though, job done. I'll see you next time on Salvage or Scrap.